Hello and welcome to the part 8 of this AWS project video series. In the previous video, we saw that how to attach a domain using Cloudflare or Namecheap and how to install an SSL certificate on our AWS ALB and then how to create a listener and pass the traffic to EC2. Now, if you see our EC2 is here and I have named it AWS DevOps Project Latest 1.0 and it's here and it's running, and now we can browse the project using this domain everygroup.xyz. Is just a demo name. I have chosen this domain, right? And if you browse it, see we have hosted a node.js app, and everything about this what's happening is already discussed in the previous videos. I have also did one thing. I have printed the instance ID. This is the instance that is running. It has an ID, so this is the ID that I'm printing, and it is dynamic. So that means if I stop this instance and start another instance, then the ID will change, and this ID can be verified using this instance ID that we are having here in the AWS, right? Now the next step will be for us. Yeah, one more thing. How did I put that ID there in the first place? This ID. If you go to the code, let me go to the code. I have put a small piece of code here. First, I installed the AWS library, the SDK. Then I put a code here, this one, and then I'm just printing um, uh, inside this function. I'm printing the response sent by this page, right, along with the data, and this data includes this instance ID, right? So this is a code, and and this is already in the GitHub, so you can see that in this repository which I have shown you previously. That repository is here. This one, no, sorry, this, yes, this one. So this repository has everything. You can browse this repository and pull this code and use it for your own purpose. Okay, now what we want to do is that this is a single project, a single instance, right? And we have created, let me go to the pipelines. We have created this code pipeline, which is pushing the code to that only one single instance, right? The problem is that what if, uh, for example, uh, in our architecture, what if it's not only one EC2? For example, there are many EC2s running here, right? And it could be many, because if you remember, our auto scaling group has a maximum limit of 3. So if there is load, or one EC2 is performing less well, and the auto scaling group run more EC2s, then if we push code, then which server will get the code? Only the one that we have tied to this pipeline. Where did it go? This pipeline. This one, because if you remember that video, in that when we were creating this pipeline, we used as an EC2 ID specifically, that we want to deploy to this EC2. But during the auto scale, these IDs, these instances, these 3 or maybe 5 or 10 will be created dynamically. So there will be EC2s which will have different IDs. They will not be bind to the pipeline um, that we created here. Then how would that code be deployed to those EC2s? Well, this way it wouldn't work, right? This way it's not possible that you bind, we create as many pipelines as there are EC2s. So what if these EC2s are uh, um, then scaled in, like they are not needed anymore, they are removed, right? Then we cannot just go to our pipeline and change those EC2 IDs from time to time, right? We need a way that whenever there are more EC2s, or like whenever Autoscale group like create more EC2s, they should be dynamically allocated to our pipeline, and then whenever we push the code, that pipeline should push that code to all the EC2s, not just only the one that we have bind to it, right? So for this purpose, let's suppose we have only one EC2 here right now, which is running. We can go to the Autoscaling group, right? And we can increase this size. Let's say edit, and we should increase the size to 2, 2, right? And now let's go to update, click update, and let's wait for the update capacity. It will go to 2. So these are the two instances that will be running very soon. Let's wait for it, and it will start to spin another EC2, right? This one. So it's now spinning, and it's not ready yet. Okay. Now how can I do something with my code? For example, I write something new here, and when I push the code, the code should be deployed to all these EC2s, not just the one, right? Let's wait for this EC2 and then check if our instance ID functionality is working properly. If we refresh this multiple times, this ID will change. The traffic will sometimes be going to one EC2, while sometimes it will be going to another EC2. Once we verify that would mean that our both like EC2s are running properly. Then we can go out to our pipelines and create another pipeline which will deploy to both the servers at the same time. Sometimes, I mean, it's your choice whether do you want to like push the code to to both the servers at the same time, or like you do it like this. Once it's deployed to one server, then it will be deployed to another server. And during the switch, the traffic will be blocked on one and the traffic will be blocked on the other. So let me show you that practically, and then you will understand better. But for time being, let's wait for this server to spin up and run, and then test it that whether it's working or not. So now this new instance is ready, and we can test it using this URL. So the current one that I'm visiting is 344. Let's refresh this. Wait, what's happening here? Oh, okay. So the one has an ID and the one has an ID, because the one that is new and that is built, right? The one that is built on, you know, uh, on the image or the AMI which was old. So if I want this ID to be shown in the new one, I have to take another AMI of this old EC2. Otherwise, the new ones will be created using the AMIs that are old, right? But doesn't matter. I want to show you something else. So that means that if we refresh this, sometimes it's shown, sometimes it doesn't. The one that is shown is the old EC2, and the one that is not shown is because that AMI has the old code that is there, and that does not has this functionality here. But we can do one thing. Let's do let's create another pipeline which will deploy it to both the EC2s, and that way our purpose of multi deployment will also be served, and then we can see the EC2 IDs here at the same time, right? So let's go. We should first go to the deploy stage and the applications and delete this application, right? This one. First go to the application inside and delete this deployment. How do we delete it? Delete application, yes, this one, and then delete. Okay, this application is gone. We have no more deployments here, or any deployment groups. We can come and create an application, and we would call it AWS DevOps Multiple EC2 Deployments, right? Copy this name, create the application. uh, what did we just do? Okay, uh, paste it here, and then we should choose EC2, create application. Okay, our application is created. Now we should create a deployment group. Create deployment group, enter the deployment group name, and I will say deployment group. Copy the name. The name is a bit lengthy. And now enter the server, the service role. this service role is discussed in detail, I guess, in the first video of the code pipelines and deployment video. If you can see that, then it will be clear with you. I'm just choosing this, then in place, and then I will say that time when we were creating the pipeline, we said EC2 instance. This time we will not say EC2 instance. This time we will see we will say Amazon EC2 Autoscaling Group, and then we will choose our Autoscaling Group. Now this means that when you choose this Autoscaling Group, no matter how many EC2s are there, the code will be deployed to all of them, right? And now it says two unique matched instances. This means that this AWS Autoscaling Group has two instances running now, right? And then when you come to this option, deployment settings, it says code deploy default all at once. That means that the code will be deployed to all of the instance at the same time, but I don't want that. I want one at a time, this one, right? Then here is the interesting part. First we will see one thing. Let's do this without enable load balancing, right? Let's do it like this, and then I will show you how can we do it along with the load balancing and what is the benefit. Let's do it like this first. Create a deployment group, right? So we have an application, this one, and then inside the application we have a deployment group, right? Now go to the pipelines, create a pipeline, create we should remove this pipeline first, delete pipeline, delete. This is the old one which is bound to a single instance. Now we are creating a very general AWS pipeline which will deploy to all the EC2s at the same time using the auto-scaling group. Create pipeline. We should name it like this, and the multiple deployments pipeline. Copy it. We should choose v2 of pipeline type. We should use queued, right? This is the best option as I discussed it in the previous videos. New service role, and I will paste it here and call it role, right? And now I should go to advanced default custom location. This will be an S3 which we created for AWS DevOps project. This one. Next, service provider, GitHub version 2. Now it will connection will be this one, right? And then it will give us a repository. We will choose AWS DevOps project sample, this one, because this is the repository that we are working with, this one, okay? And then we should choose a branch will be main because that's the main branch that I'm working in. Code pipeline default, output artifact format, so this one, and then no filter, we don't want any triggers. Next, and then we will say AWS code build code or add Jenkins, but we don't want to build the code, we should skip it. Then we will say deploy using the code deploy, right? And we want to deploy it to Ireland region because our instance is in Ireland region. And then we will say the multiple EC2 deployments application name, and deployment group is deployment group. Next. Now see, when I click this button, create pipeline, the pipeline will run. Okay. Now see, this will pull the code from the the GitHub and then deploy it to both the servers one by one. If you go to the deployment part and then click on this, sorry, if you go to the AWS code deploy and come to the deployment stage, now this one is succeeded now and this one is in progress, see, but this process is so fast you cannot catch it, you know, here. Yeah, I mean this is now succeeded already 7 seconds and this one is in progress. Both are deployed now, okay, to both the servers, this EC2 and this EC2, both are deployed now and the code can be observed here. Now before we had no EC2 ID in the new server, right? But the old one had it. Now both will have them. See, if I refresh it, one EC2 is one instance is 69 CE. If I again refresh it, the traffic is split between these EC2. See, the other one is 344. That means that our traffic is going to different EC2s every time, and both EC2s are deployed with the code. Now let's see, let's observe if we write something else here, or maybe deploy some code that we want to deploy to both EC2s. Come to the code and write like this, version 1.2 now. Okay, we change the code, git status, git add, git commit, write a message, change version, git status, git push. Okay, so the code is pushed. Come to the pipelines and observe the pipeline here. The pipeline will be in progress now. In progress. If you go to pipeline inside, come to the code deploy, it will be, the one will be succeeded and this will be pending. Now this one will start in progress. See, view events, it has already done. See, this is so fast now because we didn't block the traffic, and we can block the traffic and do the stuff. But since this is very testing things that we are doing, these are, so we do not want to block the traffic. Otherwise, while in live production environment, you need to block the traffic before deploying something to the server. Okay, so that is deployed now. Let's go to the server and see this version 1.1. This will be version 1.2. Now refresh it. So that means that both EC2s has the code being deployed to. Okay, so this is the whole process how you will deploy it to multiple servers and multiple EC2 instances at the same time. Um, and yeah, that's, I guess, the whole point of this video. I wanted to show how to deploy to multiple servers at the same time, and then see how does the traffic behaves, which server is getting the traffic, and we can prove that by our instance IDs here. So that means the traffic is split among both the EC2s, and we have deployed. Now one thing that we missed, or maybe I said I will discuss, is the process of blocking the traffic to the load balancer, right? We can do that using here applications. Come to the application part, click on applications, and then click on this deployment group and edit it. Right now, come here to the enable load balancing and choose the load balancer, application load balancer, and choose your load balancer target group, which is this one. That means that now when you deploy to your servers, to your EC2s, uh, this will be one at a time, but the one that is being deployed will be blocked for traffic. Traffic will not go to that EC2, right? And we can verify that. Let's do that. Enable load balancing, application load balancer, and show your target group. This target group has both your EC2s, save changes, right? Now let's do, we can observe now that we can pass traffic to both EC2s. See, I'm refreshing and the EC2s are changing. Now let's do one thing. I will deploy some change, like for example 1.3, right? And I will do again git add, git commit, git push. But when I git push it, now it's pushed, right? Now come to the pipelines, pipelines, and now observe the pipeline behavior. Go to pipelines, click on the pipeline, click on the code deploy, and now it will do something different. See, it's blocking the traffic first. See, there are many stages now. Block traffic, after block traffic, application stop, and these all stages. Currently, the traffic blocked to the instance is, let me see, the 344 instance traffic has been blocked now, and you can observe that by going to the domain that you are having, and you will see that you will only be able to browse this EC2, the 69 CE. and I can prove it to you. So this is the EC2. I will not be seeing this again. Let me show you. I'm I'm refreshing. See, refresh one time, two time, three time, four time, five time, six time, and no matter how many times you browse it, it will only be forwarded to this EC2, right? And not the one to which the traffic is being currently blocked. And once this is done and then that EC2 is in progress and the traffic is blocked, I will show you that I will be able to browse the 344, but I will not be able to browse the 69 CE. And let me show you that. It will take a bit of time, so I will save some time by pausing this video. Now let's see. This is saying allowing traffic. Now this will go down, or it will be in progress. Now this traffic will be blocked, and we can browse this one but will not be able to browse this one. Let's refresh this. See, this is now changed. So we are browsing this EC2 but will not be able to browse the other one very soon. Let's see. The other one is still 1.2. See the other one. Now we will see that this will be blocked. Let's go to the pipeline, refresh it, and see what is happening. Let's wait for it for a few seconds more and see what happens. Now this one has succeeded. That means that we will be browsing this instance. This traffic will be allowed, but that one is being blocked. See, blocked traffic in progress, and you can view the events by going here. Let's go to the domain and we should browse it. It will only be allowed to browse this EC2 and not the other one. See, no matter how many times I refresh it. So that is the whole point of deploying at the multiple EC2s and blocking the traffic by check marking the box for load balancers. If you remember applications, go to the application and edit this deployment group and see here below enable load balancing. So this will create that behavior that I showed you just earlier. I hope you like this video. With this, I think the whole project architecture is complete. This architecture is complete, but we want to extend this series more, and we want to deploy a Next.js application in our next video. We will be creating a Next.js application and then deploying it to the server, one of the server, then creating an AMI, and then doing the same process just like we did with this Node.js application, and then we will be hosting both the Next.js application and the Node.js application in the same server, and then we will be browsing it through the domain like this. With the simple domain, our Next.js application or the front end will be browsed, but if we go towards like this API or anything, then we will have the API, and I will show you how to connect the front end and the back end using mm, using envs and what do you call variables or stuff like that, and we will be creating a database connection. So that will be a production ready Next.js application along with Node.js and MongoDB, and this will be very practical. But the the rule is that you should see all my videos that I have created for you guys, and you can browse them here. Let me show you. These are the videos that I have created for you guys. You can browse all these videos one by one, and you need to do all this in order to understand uh, the core concepts. Otherwise, if you start from the middle, you will not understand what's happening. So you should start it from part 0 till part 7, and today is part 8, and hopefully you guys will like this series. Please like and comment and give me suggestions so that I can improve the content more, or give me an idea what should I how like what should I do with AWS, or create another project, or do some stuff that you will like to see. So that's it for me, guys. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and see you in part 9.